Welcome to The Explainer. We all have things we want to improve, right? But what if the secret to making real, lasting change wasn't about more willpower or more motivation? What if it was about a simple, proven system? Today, we're diving into the brilliant framework from the book Atomic Habits to show you exactly how it works. Okay, let's just get right into it because this is a feeling we all know. You start a new habit with so much excitement. You're going to work out every day, you're going to learn that new skill, you're going to eat healthy. But a few weeks later, you're pretty much right back where you started. So what gives? Well, a huge part of the problem is that we think change has to be this enormous, earth-shattering event. We go for the all-or-nothing approach. I'm going to completely revolutionize my life starting now. But that just sets us up for failure. It's overwhelming, and the second we slip up, we feel like we failed and just quit. But here's the secret, and it's a little counterintuitive. Real, lasting change doesn't come from one single giant leap. It actually comes from the compound effect of hundreds of tiny, almost invisible decisions that you make every single day. And that brings us to this number. The core idea is to just focus on getting 1% better every single day. These are what the book calls atomic habits. They're tiny, like an atom, but they're also the fundamental building blocks of incredible results. Now, it's really easy to dismiss a 1% improvement. I mean, reading just one page, meditating for 1 minute, it feels like nothing, right? But the magic isn't in that single action. The real power gets unlocked over time, as all those tiny gains start to compound on each other. And check this out, the math on this is just mind-blowing. If you get 1% better each day for a whole year, you don't just end up 365% better. Because of compounding, you end up nearly 37 times better. That is the incredible power of small, consistent gains. So the big question is, how do we actually do this? How do we engineer these little 1% improvements? Well, Atomic Habits gives us this really simple but powerful toolkit, the 4 laws of behavior change. Let's walk through them. All right, first up, we have law number 1, make it obvious. This is all about setting the stage, making the cues for your good habits totally impossible to ignore. You see, we like to think we're in total control, but honestly, our environment has a huge influence on our actions. So instead of just relying on pure willpower, you need to become the architect of your own world. You've got to prime your space for success by making those good habit cues super visible. This is such a perfect example. You're not trying harder to remember to practice. You're just making it the most obvious choice. Suddenly, the guitar isn't tucked away in a closet, out of sight, out of mind. No, it's right there, serving as this constant, silent trigger for the very habit you want to build. Okay, let's move on to the second law, which flows right from the first. It's not just enough for a habit to be obvious, you also have to want to do it. So you have to make it attractive. Our brains are wired to chase rewards. It's actually the anticipation of a reward that gets us to act. So the trick here is to find a way to make the habits you want to build more desirable, more appealing right from the get-go. The book tells this great story about an engineering student who wanted to work out more, but, he also really loved watching Netflix. So what did he do? He literally hacked his bike to power his TV, but only when he was cycling at a certain speed. He didn't force himself to exercise. He made it the gateway to what he really wanted. This strategy has a name. It's called temptation bundling. It's super simple. You just pair an action you need to do with an action you want to do. You're basically making the difficult habit completely irresistible because it's linked to something you already crave. All right, on to the third law, and this one tackles probably the single biggest thing that stops us from getting started: friction. We have to make it easy. I mean, think about it. We are all programmed to follow the path of least resistance. It's just human nature. So if you want to build a good habit, you have to make it as frictionless as possible. You have to make it so simple, so easy, that it's harder to say no than it is to just do it. And this brings us to the 2-minute rule, which is an absolute game changer. The idea is that any new habit you start should take less than 2 minutes. So read before bed each night becomes read 1 page. Do 30 minutes of yoga becomes take out my yoga mat. See? The goal isn't to master the habit right away. The goal is to master the art of showing up. And that brings us to our final law, law number 4. Make it satisfying. This is the one that really locks the habit in for the long haul. It's what makes a behavior repeat. Here's the cardinal rule. Our brains are designed to repeat behaviors that give us an immediate reward. And that's the problem, right? Bad habits feel good now. Good habits, well, their rewards are often way off in the future. So the trick is to find a way to give yourself an immediate win, a little hit of satisfaction right after you do your good habit. Here's a brilliant way to do it. Let's say you want to save money by cooking at home. Create a special savings account and label it something exciting like trip to Europe. And then every single time you skip ordering takeout, you immediately transfer the money you saved into that account. That feeling of watching the fund grow is your immediate reward. It's satisfying and it reinforces the habit for next time. So we've walked through this entire 4-step framework. It's powerful stuff. But knowing isn't doing. The most important part is always taking action. So what's your first step? I want to make this super simple for you. Here's your mission should you choose to accept it. Don't try to overhaul your entire life tonight. Just pick one single, tiny habit. Then choose just one of these 4 laws and apply it today. The goal here isn't perfection, it's momentum. Remember, this whole thing isn't about some massive overnight transformation. It's about starting that powerful compounding effect, one tiny decision at a time. It's about getting just a little bit better today. So I'll leave you with this question. What 1% change will you make?